Ginny and Aj would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land across the countries now known as Australia and the United States of America. These lands that were never ceded but violently stolen from the oldest living cultures and civilization on this planet. We would also like to pay our respects to the elders past, present, and emerging, for they hold the memories, traditions, culture, and hopes of a brighter future for us all. It's also important that we acknowledge the Gumaroi, Barkinji, Lachi Lachi, Birigubba, and Waka Waka ancestors and elders of our bloodlines, whose shoulders we stand on. Without them, we do not exist. It's through them that we carry our pride, strength, and resiliency. We must always remember that under this concrete and asphalt, these countries were and always will be on traditional Aboriginal, Australian, and Native American land.
Everybody, welcome back for yet again another episode of Unapologetically Blak, but we are up to episode 5. How are you feeling, Ginny?
I'm super excited because we're at episode 5 and we're about to talk about some stuff that I'm really excited to talk about. This is something that has been on our list of things to get to, and now we're finally here, and I think this is the perfect week to start talking about what we're going to talk about.
Yay! So we are talking about body positivity. So this is a very important issue for both myself and Ginny, and we would like to say this is a very important issue for all people, but especially disenfranchised or marginalized collectives like Indigenous women are. So before we get into it, I want to provide us all with a little definition of body positivity, because I think it's really important to look at the way that it has been defined by, I guess, mainstream society. And then Ginny and I are both going to get into what body positivity means for us. And we want you guys to understand that whenever we're speaking about any topic, whenever we're speaking about an event or even an experience, these are our personal opinions. We are not claiming to be providing definitions or providing, rules around it. Rather, we are just shedding light. And this is the case for body positivity. So body positivity is a social movement initially created to empower and popularize large-bodied women and men, while also challenging the ways in which society presents and views the physical body. The movement advocates for the acceptance of all bodies, regardless of their physical ability, size, race, and or gender and appearance. Body positive activists believe like size, like race, gender, sexuality, and physical capacity is one of the many ways that our bodies are placed in a power and desirability hierarchy. The movement aims to challenge beauty standards, build positive body image, and improve self-confidence. A central belief advocated is that beauty is a construct of society, and that this construct should not determine one's confidence or self-worth. Individuals are encouraged to love themselves and to live the fullest lives while accepting their physical traits. Body positivity has roots in the fat acceptance movement, as well as the National Association to Advance Fat Acceptance. Body positivity differs from fat acceptance in that it is encouraging or encompassing and inclusive of all body parts. Bitch, just let me have my moment. Whereas fat acceptance only advocates for individuals considered to be obese or overweight. The movement argues that neither fat shaming nor skinny shaming is acceptable, and that all body types should be celebrated. Although body positivity is perceived as the celebration of one's physical appearance as it is, women are highly motivated to advocate the normalization of body hair, bodily fluids, menstruation, and to challenge preconceived ideas regarding to a woman's appearance. How are we feeling, girl?
I think it's interesting because I think originally when I first started hearing about body positivity, I think we sort of saw that happen more in the plus size space.
Definitely.
That we normalizing that bodies were coming in different sizes. And for me, I think my brain instantly just sort of went to bigger type of people. So it is good to see that in that definition that we're talking about all bodies, that all bodies deserve to be loved and deserve to not be shamed. And whether you're, you know, a smaller girl or a thicker girl or anywhere in between, or male or non-binary friends as well, that you can sit anywhere on the spectrum, and your body deserves to be loved and treated
So true, Ginny.
with respect, you mob, because I you know, between you and I and our little friends listening now, I guess I've always struggled with with loving myself, particularly my body. I have had some really you know, growing up, I think as Black fellas, we are our frames are so small. And I think that's what Black fellas are known for, right? Like tiny little ankles. And so growing up, like as a young person, I was very, very skinny and very just like straight. And then it was like, as soon as I hit puberty, the susus came out, the hips came out. All of a sudden I was carrying like all of this weight up the top, and having these tiny little ankles, and I was like hated myself. So growing up, I think body not I want to say that body positivity wasn't really a thing when I was growing up.
It wasn't, sis, at all. And I think even what you're saying, how we instantly think the bigger body in relation to body positivity, because talking about bodily fluids is new. Talking about hair is new. Talking about skin conditions is new. You know, these are conversations they have not recent in the last 10 years. They were not happening 15 years ago. They were not happening even 12 years ago. You know, it is so relatively new.
And that's an interesting thing as well when you were talking about the definition that menstruation and body hair and skin conditions and stuff is now in that. I would never have thought when we jumped on was talking about body positivity, that's all I was thinking was like bodies, you know, and shapes and sizes, but that's really interesting. And I think absolutely, like,
and it just shows how limited even our own everyday lived experience of understanding it, because let's be crystal clear, we are not talking about, in Black spaces, we are not talking about body hair. We are not talking about height or skin conditions. We are literally fighting for basic human rights, you know, and we are, I think our work is fighting really hard to encompass everything, guys. So we're trying to say, you can talk about body positivity, you can talk about your body, you can talk about being a woman, but let's understand where we're positioned in our society, if that makes sense. Because you can love me for being a big girl, right? All you want, but are you going to love me for being Aboriginal? No, because we aren't getting that love, we aren't getting that support, we aren't getting that solidarity from the country, if that makes sense.
And I think we sort of touched on this in one of our previous episodes when we were talking about sex, that, you know, we've never really had that autonomy with our bodies. And so I think now when we talk about body positivity, it's really like this ultimate step that we're still probably not quite at yet. Although I think as Black fellas as well, I think growing up, I definitely experienced body shaming culturally, but just in a funny way. Like, you know, I don't know if you experienced this growing up. Like when I think of like, I try to think about the most earliest moments of body shaming and when I experienced that. And I was definitely at school, and I was at the Murray School when I was at a Black school, and when I grew up, when I became a teenager, seeing people back from then and going, oh, geez, you put on weight. But like, you know, I think Black fellas do this all the time. We sort of try and make a joke out of it, like it's very lighthearted. And we do it to each other. And I've definitely done it to other Black fellas, you know, because it's like it's culturally, it's just like something you talk about. Oh, you got, you know, damper hips or
so true.
Just different things. And I think we try and make
I feel like Murray's, that's very Murray as well. Like, you know, like just fucking straight out. Like, oh, you lost weight. Because that's the thing, guys. The pendulum swings. We don't call it out when someone's gained weight. We'll call it out when you lose weight. Hey, what you doing? You're not eating. What happened? You know, like we do both.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so I
Interesting.
always found it really, really, I really struggled with loving my body. And it's still like, I think it's a journey. And I think every day I take a day by day. I have had eating disorders. I've definitely experienced that. It's still something that I often think about, and I have to like talk myself through it. But I didn't think I had an eating disorder. I thought I was just like, oh, this is, you watch TV, this society of westernized beauty standards just makes it really incredibly fucking difficult if you're Black and trying to make it through the world. Like you're going to be told, I mean, all you have to do is chuck on the TV and see yourself not represented and go, okay, there's something wrong with me.
Yeah, or I get the message, I don't fucking matter.
I don't fit in here. So, and we talk about it all the time. I think that's one thing that sort of, you and I, we're two Indigenous women who talk about all of these things. We don't fit society's idea of what's beautiful or what's pretty or what's cool or what's cute. We're not going to be fucking Charlie D'Amelio or whatever her name is on TikTok.
Literally.
We're not going to do, and we're not 17 anymore either. So that time's passed. But so I think that as Black fellas, it's really hard to kind of be happy with yourself and your body. What about you? How was how did you find it growing up? Because AJ's tall as fuck as well. And I love that about you, but I wonder, how was that for you?
So I had a really interesting experience, and I think, guys, as well, like myself and Ginny, we need to start talking about our own experiences more. And I think in 2021, like I made a post. Is that me? Well, I'm sorry, guys, it's getting real loud around here. I live on a fucking highway, bitch. Literally, highway to hell, motherfuckers. But I feel like, bitch, I feel like you and we need to start talking more about ourselves, guys, and hearing these stories. But in saying that, guys, you have to respect that we're building our confidence as we go. We're not going to get on here and spill our guts in a way, because we are women of culture. We are women of respect and poise and elegance, and we are working hard at creating a space. We're not going to jump into an ocean of cold water talking about the most inner depths of our lives, because we haven't created a safety net yet. I hope you understand that, but definitely moving into 2021, more yarning, Gin, because there's so much more I just want to get into with you and your lived experience and your story. But touching on body positivity, I have had only twice, two uncles make a comment, two different ones, one from my mum's side, one from my dad's, make comments about me being big in my whole life. Other than that, my whole entire family, we're all women. So my mum has 5 sisters, and all of us within that, they're all women with different shapes and different sized bodies and different, whatever. We have worked really hard to instill in us confidence, feeling proud of ourselves, dressing, feeling comfortable with who they are, because you have to understand, for the older generation, the women before me, in the 80s and the 70s and the 60s, when they were growing up, guys, they were fighting for like basic rights, more than what we are now. So the little bit that we have, they didn't even have that. So my mum, and particularly my aunties who are older and they are more fuller figured, they were growing up in the 70s. They weren't worried about being accepted for being big. They were worried about being accepted before being Black. So that kind of confidence that you have to have about being Aboriginal, but then have the confidence about being a big woman is just so important. And I like to think the strength that I have been passed down is a generational thing. So my grandmother was a bigger woman. She passed it down to me, my aunties who passed it down to me, and I passed it down to my daughter. But guys, it's not even about being big. It's body positive. So we don't run our cousins down if they're skinny, or if they've got big susus or little susus, or they got a big nose or a small nose. We never comment on physical characteristics. So I'm very blessed.
That's interesting, because I thought it was honestly a common thing And I guess not.
Yeah, but I
Because
guess it's all differences, different
right.
communities and things like that. But and also because my family is very racially diverse, so this is another thing. My aunties have a variety of different nationality partners, so we have all different ethnicities in my immediate cousins, in my first cousins, and they have a variety of different features. Like we've got the fairest of the fairest, we've got the blackest of blacks, and I
Mm,
think they identified really fast. We have to be really sensitive. We have to be really fucking sensitive because these kids all look different. They all
that's
have
good.
different features, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. See,
Mm.
I grew my grandmother. It's weird because all of the men in my family are very tall. Like
Mm.
my brother is 6 something, 6'2". All of my uncles are over 6 foot. And my mum was tall for a woman.
Wow.
Like in our family, very tall. I want to say like 5'9", 5'10". And
That's tall for a woman, yeah.
then the like my grandmother is very short, and like we all have big susus.
Mm.
And guys, when we talk about susus, if you're
I was about
one
to
of
say.
our few non-indigenous followers, we're talking about your boobs, okay? So
Literally.
your susus,
Mm.
you know, quite my grandma, my nan has big boobs, and naturally all of the women in our family have become short, except for like two of my cousins who are just beautiful tall women, and I always just envy them. But the rest of us are like short, big boobs. And I always was just like really struggling. And I think as well, like having conversations with my grandmother when I was younger as well, and her
Mm.
being like, Regina, you need to, um, you should exercise. You need to exercise. You need
Mm.
to get up and walk and do all of these things. And it was like at that point, even now when I think about when she was having those conversations with me, I was small. Like I was
Mm.
not big. I was small. And it to me now, my shape is very much like my grandmother's. So I think
Oh.
she was sort of deflecting some insecurities
From
of
her, yeah,
herself.
exactly.
And I can only imagine that as she was growing up, and like she's
It was
always
like in
just
those days.
yeah,
And
she's always been
hypersexualization of women, man. Fuck. During those
yeah,
generations, like,
yeah.
it was just out of control.
And even now, like she is a very old woman and she's got dementia. But like even today, when I speak to my sisters or speak to my cousins, they talk about how she's losing weight because she's at the end of
Mm.
her age as well, so she's not eating as much, loss of appetite, but she's so happy. She's so
Yeah, it's
proud
so
of
true.
herself. Like,
It's so
oh,
true.
I fit this size now, and I'm like, oh my god, this woman is going
But that
to.
happens to when I get about 60. I've noticed a lot of women, even black women, oh, the weight's just fallen off me. Yeah,
I'm like, well, I can't wait to get to that.
fuck yeah.
But same time, no, because here's the thing. We all should be enjoying our bodies
That's right,
now
sis.
because it sucks. I'm 30, 32, and I only
Mm.
have started really thinking about my appearance and in trying to love myself and going on this journey of trying to be more body positive
Mm.
um in the last year.
It's
And
so
it's like I've
powerful.
lived 32 years without 31 years
Right.
without appreciating that this is what I'm going to deal with for the rest of my life. This is what I have. This is all I've got. And
Sis.
learning to love that.
So I guess that's a big point we wanted to yarn on today, guys, is Ginny is very early in her body positivity experience. And I guess I'm over 15 years in,
Right.
just literally, sis. I just came to a point of my hating myself, and it's like the lowest point you can get. And it wasn't even what anyone said to me. Maybe it was the dickheads at school, but you have to understand they're already making fun of me for being black, or making fun of me because I was studious, whatever it is, right?
Mm.
But what it was media. So I just kept seeing, I am into the glamour, and I'm into makeup, and I'm into clothes like most women are, and expressing myself. So this is a designed garment that I'm wearing right now, bitch. I was all that. But back in those days, guys, we did not see people of color.
Mm.
Like, we did not see anyone that was not Caucasian on our TVs, on our screens, in our newspapers, in our magazines, on our buses, on our billboards, anywhere, because it was a very specific European look. It was a very defined, specific characteristic. Neighbours, Home and Away, news, game shows. They didn't even have guests, guys. They did not even have guests that were people of color or bigger bodied or different bodied. We didn't have any representation, okay? There were skinny white people. And I just came to the point, I used to say, I hate myself. Like I'd say to my mom, I hate it. I just hate it. And she would just keep saying to me, I'm sure my mum, even with her own body issues or her body journey, because my mum was originally a dancer, so she has a completely different understanding on body and body positivity. So I feel like as she grew in accepting and loving her daughters, that really planted the seed, because my mum didn't apply the, you know, standards that she put on herself on me and my sister, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it was just amazing. It was amazing to see.
Aware.
Yeah, and now I'm older, I can obviously reflect and think about how big it was that my mum, you know, sought different stores where she could buy her kids jeans. And when we were getting bigger and our shoes were getting bigger and we're getting taller and taller, she never made me feel embarrassed about it. Like, oh my God, you're size 9 and you're fucking 12. Like, oh my God.
Right.
She never did that, because that would have been, and one of the most insecurities of mine, guys, was being tall. Literally, guys, like, I would cry about being tall. I just hated it, because my height now, guys, I've been tall like this since I was goddamn 12 years of age, bitch. I've been 6 foot since I was 12.
Wow.
So she's always supported me, always encouraged me. But there have been that moment at the end of the day where I just had to self-love and accept myself, because I knew I'd spend the rest of my life hating myself. So, bitch. But it was interesting, because at the same time, it was acceptance of my blackness. So for me, my body and my identity as an Indigenous woman is just the same thing, because if I couldn't love being Aboriginal, I could not love my body. And if I can't love my body, I can't love being Aboriginal, if that makes sense.
Right. That's so beautiful. A beautiful way to put it. And I guess I never really thought about that. And this is the thing. I always was like really into genetics and really into like reading up. And I think this is, as blackfellas, you know, I know that there are a few Black fitness type Instagram pages and social media pages out there. And if you are a blackfella or not Indigenous, I encourage you to go and find those pages, because there's a lot of work and a lot of decolonizing happening in some of in a lot of those spaces. But I always thought as well, like, genetics are so, I mean, you just have to look at either one of us and see that our genetics are strong, right?
It's so true, sis.
And so I think with diet and stuff like that as well, I've always been really interested in, you know, as blackfellas, pre-colonization, we did a lot of feast and famine, where, you know, that sort of genetic makeup is who I am today and why I look the way that I am. And it's something that
100%.
I'm trying to learn to love more and more. And like you said, I think that's a really beautiful way to put it, is to not love your body, is to not love being Black, because we are our ancestors. We are the genetic makeup of who was here before us. And I think that that's a really good way. I think that makes me want to love myself a little bit more, because you're absolutely right. It's so important.
I'm so happy to hear that, Ginny.
These hips, this back, these susus, and this crack negative.
Bitch. And these bunny ass ankles, bitch.
Yeah, these tiny little
you know what
ankles.
I mean? And the way they destroy us, guys, and you may think, oh, I'm, you know, if you even are a white woman, or you're a white man, or you're a white they, them, non-gender binary, whoever you are listening to this, but you're elite, right? The same mechanisms of control that have been placed on you guys are those that are placed on us. The only difference
to us.
said motherfucking
amplified. Yeah, absolutely.
They've been amplified.
Yeah. And it's like, you know, I think we sort of touched on this before, when we see Black people try and be confident and try and be will share their body positivity, it's taken differently. I mean, or Lizzo, you know.
Yes,
perfect example of a woman who is of color, who is positive and happy with what she looks like, and not allowed to be proud of who she is and what she looks like. I just think it's ridiculous.
And if you don't know what's happened, And if you guys don't know what happened, she's been greatly, so sorry to interrupt you, Jin, but I
No,
want to
you're
give
good.
background to what you're saying is she's been greatly abused, greatly degraded, greatly attacked, to the point people have started a petition, I believe, get her off Instagram. There's been news articles, breaking news of her twerking, fat shaming across the board, guys. And it is simply doing what small women are doing, or she's simply doing the same things that smaller bodies do. And that is why body positivity is so important, because once you go into attempting to destruct and destroy women of color with bigger bodies, that is feeding into the white supremacy metrics or the white supremacy foundations. And it's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. And which is why I have preferences. You have preferences, but your preferences are predisposed. Your preferences have been provided to you. Your preferences have been promoted. So don't come at me and try and tell me that that's healthy,
Your
or this
preferences are
body image is.
200 years old. Like, come on. This is the thing. I wanted to ask you because anyone who doesn't follow AJ on Instagram, here's my thing. Again, I do this every episode.
Shut up.
Follow the fuck out of AJ, because I think
love
that
you.
she is a pioneer in what she's doing right now.
Stop
Here
it.
is a woman who is proud of what she looks like, loves her body positivity to the T, sis.
The T, bitch.
And loves her body. And I always wanted to ask you, like, where is there someone that you sort of look up to? Is there someone that inspires you, or is that just you? Is that, where does that come from?
Cry.
AJ, she posts the most amazing pictures, and she fucking
Thank
posts
Shut
pictures of her body, and you're just not going to see this, especially in the Black space on Instagram. You're not going to see what AJ does. And so I've always been interested in hearing, where does this come from? Like, because I want to be you.
Bitch,
I want to be me, but I also want to be you. Is that possible?
Bitch, maybe. Let's try. Let's try. I'm trying to answer this really, really honestly. So my dad, and I made a post over on my Instagram about my dad earlier. My dad quite literally planted a seed with me in my mum, like we all are with our parents, but he also planted a seed in me of my pro-Black, proud Black, whatever you want to call it, unapologetically Black, whatever it is. But my mum is not like radical, white people would call it radicalized. My mother is not that character. She is in her own way. She's not overtly, she's internally pro-Black. My dad is overtly pro-Black, okay? So he planted that seed in me to be proud of everything that Blackness encompasses. And that's, you know, like I was talking about on my post, my brow bone, my skinny ankles, where my fat goes, stores differently, all of it, right? So we never had that specific conversation, but loving my Blackness is inherently that. But my auntie, my auntie Rhonda, I'm going to send this recording to my cousin. My auntie Rhonda has always been, I'm going to cry. My auntie Rhonda has always been a plus size woman. She is just, and I'm sure many of you listening to this, she is just this powerhouse, fucking hilarious, sews her own skirts, wears these beautiful, you know those Black women when they got them button ups, they're covered in florals and they're just like big, and they chuck their beads on and they're just like, you know, I was just this Black kid and would come to Sydney all the time for these holidays and would stay at her house, and she'd just come out of the room and just throw this sundress on and put these fabrics on her beautiful body. And I just remember looking at her and thinking, you are hilarious, you are loving, you can cook and feed us all and take care of us, and you're beautiful, okay? That is that woman for me, my Auntie Rhonda. And just seeing her celebrate her body and just be so fucking hilarious and just so funny. And I never had a body positive conversation. So I never sat down with her and said, Auntie Rhonda, what are tips for loving your body, or how do I love my body, or how do I get through this? But she just constantly was who she is. And even if she had internal battles, I'm sure she has had those battles. Any plus size woman has. Those internal battles were not for the public. Those internal battles were internal. And I would like to say the same thing should be said around race. So if you are struggling with your racial identity, you can always talk about it externally, but the work has to be done inside, is what I'm trying to say. Because you can sit here and scream all you want. I want to be positivity. I want to love my body. I need this. I need that. It has to be done inside, you know. And seeing her be so unapologetic and love her body was my biggest influence. But in saying that, contemporarily was accepting that this is what it is. And when you see loss, so being a young Indigenous person, we go to a lot of funerals, or there is a lot of death, there is a lot of tragedy around us with death. Just funerals. We lost a lot of my dad's family in a short period of time. That just woke me up. Like, people are dying from so many different things, tragedies. Young people are dying, you know, even our elders who aren't even old are dying. And I just thought, I can't do this. I can't spend the next 15 years of my life hating it. And bitch, I never look back. And period, bitch.
That's so beautiful. That gives it's so nice because I mean, how does it feel for you? Because I know as well, like I've got a list of things that I have written down that I wanted to share, which is
yes, girl.
Small ways to love yourself is what I wrote it as. Some small ways, and when I say this is stuff that I'm trying to teach myself as well, because true. I don't ever remember, even now, like I could tell you everything that's wrong with my body, and I want to get to a point where I'm like, bitch, this is all I got. This is what I've got to deal with, you know. And like you said, we do, as Black followers, we go to a lot of funerals. People are dying all the time, and life is too short. And I look at people's Instagram, like yourself, and there's a few other people. There's not many Black followers who are out there spreading. And if you are, or if you do know, please tag us, tag their Instagram pages, because I would love to follow all those people. Because one of the things I have on my list is about cleansing your social media of you know, cleansing your social media feeds of anything that makes you feel bad about your body. And there are lots of people that I follow on Instagram, lots of people that I have on Facebook who are, you know, workout junkies, and that's great too. I you know, exercise is important. I need to exercise more. But I think as well, like normalizing different shapes and bodies. Or, you know, when I wake up in the morning and I get on Instagram and I see AJ in a little bra, proud of who she is and the little, you know, the glamour of it all. I'm like, okay, yes, I can, you know what? I'm going to get out of bed. I'm going to put a little bit of makeup on and slay the day. I think that's important as Black followers, to find people who look like you, follow those people that make you feel good about what you look like, people that make you feel represented in this space. Do that, and I guarantee you're going to feel better about yourself. Get rid of all the Charli D'Amelios, get rid of all the Kim Kardashians, get rid of all the get rid of them all.
Yep. Hell yeah, guys.
If you're working out,
a commitment.
If you're working out and your idea of you are, you know, a workout junkie, and you do CrossFit 6 days a week, and you do follow all those people, because that's what's going to work best for you. But I just want to encourage everyone. It's a new year, sis. Get up on your social media right now and unfollow anyone who makes you feel bad about your body.
Hell yes, guys.
If looking at J-Lo and how she dances for 25 hours a day, it makes you feel like you're not getting your shit done, bitch, unfollow that bitch.
Get her out. And even if you admire her fashion or you admire the makeup, admire it when you need inspiration. It is not something that you continuously need on your feed, bitch.
Because I have spent 32 years following people thinking one day I'd just wake up and look like them. And let me tell you what, no, it's unrealistic. No. And I just want to spend the next 32 years of my life loving who I am, loving the way that I look, and appreciating the people that I follow on Instagram, and seeing myself represented.
Hell yes, bitch.
Bitch.
I love it. I'm obsessed with it.
So I do have a list of small ways that I thought I would share with you. These are things that we talked about in our last episode as well on our New Year's resolutions. And we talked about wanting to be healthier. And that really, you guys, I'm not interested in losing a fuckload of weight. I mean, a shitload of weight, a ton of weight. I'm not interested in doing that. I really just want to be healthier. I love that I'm not skinny. I love that I have curves. I have lost a lot of weight in the last 2-3 years. But I needed to do that to be healthy. I
So
was
true,
on the
sis.
verge of like diabetes 2, all of
No.
that stuff. Really, really unhealthy stuff. And now I feel like I need to love who I am right now and not, and like I said, not wait another 32 years to finally just be like, okay, now you die with the body that you hated for 60 years, you know?
It's so true. And the emotional energy that takes, man, fuck.
Exactly. All right. So one of my little things that I wrote is to dress your body affectionately.
Yay!
And I think as well, like I have so many little outfits. Anyone who my family and friends are like, they will see something, AJ, and be like, that's what Ginny would wear. Like, that's really Ginny.
That's so fucking adorable.
It's really funny because I was like, do I have a style? I don't know if I have a style. And as someone who works in this space of,
You need to have a style.
I'm either very black, all I do is wear black, or I wear outrageous clothing. Like
God.
I'm very like floral and feminine.
I
So
love
it's
it.
either like relaxed, like right now I'm wearing a sweatshirt and sweatpants.
I'm here for it.
And then I will throw on like something really ridiculous, like a nana dress with a belt and some, like I live for that.
Cute. I love it.
But it's important to dress your body affectionately because the way that clothing makes you feel is important, right? I would think. Like, because
so true.
Is there something that you like to wear that makes you feel like, bitch?
Oh, bitch. So we've got it in what?
No, I was going to say, like, I love the stuff that you wear because you either do it like this or you go like this. You know what I mean?
Bitch.
And that's very much like me.
I was about to say, I'm literally fucking vibe. So I'm either 100 or 0. And I think that's very black. Like, I just feel like a so black woman. Like,
right.
We'll give you what you want, bitch. We'll not what you need. So yeah, I feel like I'm either or, but my biggest tip for feeling comfortable in clothes is loose, and I feel comfortable and modest. But guys, if you are in something that is restrictive, even skinny people, right? The most boniest of bony of bony. If they are in something form-fitting, guess what they're going to do the whole entire time? They're going to be insecure. Okay, they're going to be worried about what angle they're getting a photo in, how they're sitting, how they're moving, what they're doing. They're going to feel like that because it's form-fitting. I'm telling you guys, I'm going to get into this. I'm going to do hypersexualization and modest. We're going to do that in another podcast episode. So we're going to get into it. But what I will say in this, guys, is for me, loose clothes, especially in my day-to-day life, like this right now is very loose. This is made from my body. It just makes me feel so confident, so graceful, so elegant, so timeless. Most importantly, so comfortable.
Comfortability.
Some of the goodies need to be packed away, bitch.
And would you say that your body loves it? Like your body loves it? That's what makes you feel good.
Sis, honestly, and it is so flattering. So that is the thing, guys. If you are curvy and you have a lot happening, like you guys have seen my body on my Insta, there is a lot going on with this body, okay? Even in loose flowing clothing, she still speaks to you, bitch.
Yeah, she does. I love it.
You know what I mean? I'm here for it. And that is a new level of acceptance, because you don't get to have the curves, you don't get to have the titties, you don't get to have the thighs, the ass without the gut, and that's been another big thing, because I used to just say, if I lost weight off my stomach, I'd be so happy. You don't get to have that. That's not real. That's superficial. That's artificial. So yeah, just learning to embrace it. But my biggest tip is, guys, loose flowing clothing, bitch.
Okay, I love that. I love loose clothing too. That does make me feel good. Another thing that I wrote was practicing gratitude for your body, like thanking your body and speaking kinder to yourself. That's one thing that I wrote on my board for this year. Oh shit, sorry guys, just banging things around as always.
Don't knock us out.
speaking kinder to myself, appreciating your body for what it is, what it's done. If you're a mother that you gave birth, you needed those hips, sis. You needed those hips. You had to carry that weight for your baby. So appreciate the way that your body has kept you moving for so long. Even if it's a little tired, sis, get it together. Be thankful. Okay, another one. Do something every day that makes your body feel good. So I know a lot of people are working out. A lot of people might be eating healthy. I like to go get massages once a month. That's my thing. We've talked about, again, exercising, doing moving around a little bit more this year. So do something that makes your body feel good. Again, we spoke about this before, unfollowing social media accounts that make you feel bad about your body. And then the flip side of that is following social media accounts that show bodies that look like yours. So if you're a bigger girl, follow AJ, follow Lizzo, follow, look at people that look like you.
That's
and,
right.
And cheer them on, because imagine, like, I sit here and I think, my God, I couldn't. And AJ and I have been talking about.
Yes, we've been talking about it.
Pictures and posting more pictures. And like, I know if you go on my Instagram page, you're going to see a lot of pictures of me very vain. Okay.
Yep.
This is a new thing in the last year and a half that I'm like, okay, you know what? You kind of look cute. Like, you could make this work, bitch. So I do like to take pictures, but here's the thing is, like, I don't post the 100 other pictures of me looking like a dickhead, and I am this sort of girl who gets a little bit worried when they get tagged in a picture, because I have always been self-conscious of the way that I look. So one thing that I want to get better at this year, and I am inspired by AJ and her feed,
thank you,
is just putting myself out there a little bit more.
Yes,
and hoping that by being positive and sharing my truth and who I am and my body and the love for my body, that will inspire someone else, because I've definitely felt that way from you, AJ.
Thank you so much.
Sissies, get out there, okay? Put your whole self out there. Your body is worth loving. Another thing, stop judging other people's bodies.
Guilty.
Me all over. I'm trying really, really hard. And I'm so envious of lots of people. I'm like, oh my God, if I just had her frame, if I just had an ass that looked like that, if I just had skinnier arms, then I would do this. Like, I can't even tell you the amount of times that it's my insecurities and my body shaming of myself and my judgment of myself, and then seeing other people and going like, I can't sit here. I can't sit. I am the sore thumb that sticks out in this situation, has pulled me back from doing so many things in my life.
So true, sis.
And today that stops you, mub. So stop doing that. Stop thinking that if you change the way you look, it will make you happier. Because like you were just saying, AJ, if you want to still have a fat ass and have a no stomach, know that that's probably not going to happen, sis.
It's not going to happen.
You can't have it all.
No. And if it does happen, if there are women out there that are naturally like that, they're naturally like that. But for a lot of us, we're not built like that. And that's okay.
So stop doing that. Stop thinking that if you change the way that you look. And like, how many times have we seen people who have like gone and got their boobs done, and then their nose, and then their stomachs, and they still hate themselves? Like,
they're still not happy with it. Oh, the surgeon could have done this, or the surgeon didn't do that. It's like, oh my God.
They're $150,000 into changing their whole bodies and onto something else. There's always going to be something else. And I think like if we just take some time to appreciate what we have and what it's done for us, and like you said, AJ, there's a lot of internal work that needs to be happening.
Oh yeah.
And then my last one was that you only get one body, so you might as well commit to it. Commit to loving, commit to you only having one body. This is how I feel about the situation. But this is my little things that I'm going to focus on this year.
And it's just, I want to add to that because you know how I was talking about my Auntie Rhonda. My other biggest thing was appreciating what my body's been there for me through. So again, inherently being Black, having to survive, guys, some of the most traumatic, some of the most dangerous, some of the most gut-wrenching moments in my life, my body has got me through it. So I love that last point that you gave, Ginny, because if you are starting to hate your body, think about everything that she's gotten you through. Think about everything she's helped you to do, and every sickness, every virus, every bug you've ever gotten in your life, and any bug or virus or sickness that you will get, your body is going to fight so hard to make you better, and we start fighting for our bodies like that, if that makes sense.
That's a beautiful one.
And going off that, guys, I have 2 facts. I wanted to give 2 facts to you guys just around body positivity to give you guys a timeline. Because again, the work that we're doing, the conversations that we're having is decolonial work. It is taking away the power and mechanisms of control that colonization has over us, guys. Okay, that's what the fuck Unapologetically Blak is doing. Okay, we're not going to sit here and tell you what we're doing is amazing, what we're doing is amazing, what we're doing hasn't been done before, if we're not going to demonstrate to you how it has not been done. And these 2 points do that. So Victoria's Secret has been around since 1995. The first ever show they had with a plus size model was in 2014. That's 26 years of highly successful, highly promoted, globalized lingerie shows, events. And they had no representations of plus size bodies. And I thought would be really interesting. Guess what size the plus size model was walking in the show?
What size?
A 14. A 14 is a normal, healthy size of a woman's body. It's not even plus size. It's normal. An average woman's body is 12 to 14. My next point, an Australian model was the first ever woman, and she made history to be a plus size model in a Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition. Guess what year that was?
What year?
2016. 2016 was the first time we ever saw a plus size model on the cover of a magazine, Sports Illustrated, in a swimsuit. And if you don't know anything about Sports Illustrated, it is highly successful. It is like nothing compares to it. Nothing ever will. It is an entire movement, and it's a magazine which is immortalized, and countless, obviously, covers. Never had a plus size body until 2016, and my daughter was born then, so that's 4 years ago, guys.
That's
so that
crazy. You mob, we just need everyone to appreciate your bodies and be proud of what you have and where you came from. And that's the thing, is like we say we're proud of our culture, we're proud of who we are and where we come from. Like, loving your body is part of that, you mob.
That's exactly right, sis. It has to be. And if you're hating your bodies, and I want to say to you, Ginny, in this moment, if you are hating your body, you're not hating your body. It's society that is. Society, the world, the fashion industry, the beauty industry. And why do they want you to hate your body? So you're going to pay to fix it. If you are standing in your truth, if you are loving your nose, you're loving your brow bone, you're loving your goddamn big or skinny forehead, exactly, sis, or no having susus, you don't got susu, you ain't got nothing, right? If you love you, you are not economically investing in society to become better in their standards. And most importantly, guys, beauty standards are not achievable. You don't get to just sit and be like, okay, I'm beautiful now, I'll be beautiful forever. No, they're forever changing, they're forever evolving, and you will never reach the peak of beauty. It is unreachable because it is created by our capitalist society. Bitch.
And that's the tea, you mob.
That's the tea,
that
bitch.
is it. That is a great point. It is ever evolving. Like, remember 2000, like early 2000s, I had 0 eyebrows, you mob. I plucked the shit out of my eyebrows. I had nothing. It was like this.
Literally, that was
even
the
that.
vibe.
Not even that.
Like, eyebrows was like, it was beautiful.
Oh my God. You know what? I will send you a picture of me.
Oh my God.
We should
both upload photos of us.
Let's do it in high school. In high school.
Oh my God.
I had 0 eyebrows, you mob. I plucked them till there was just one tiny hair that laid all the way across my forehead.
Do you guys know what I had? I had a shaved head.
Did you?
Not in high school, but in my first year of university, I shaved half my hair off.
Why?
I had like the side thing. Let's not get
because
into
it was
but
cool,
bitch,
right? Well,
I
and
just
this is
thought
the
it was
thing, the
fucking
trends
cool.
happen. I plucked the shit out of my eyebrows. I had nothing, and then all of a sudden here we are, 2020, and it's like now I get my eyebrows laminated so that they are as bushy
Full.
can be. And like I've always had naturally full eyebrows, and
Mhm,
who
for a
would have
bitch.
thought if 14, 15-year-old Regina
Mm.
knew that in 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20, that it would then be cute to have thick, natural eyebrows. I tell you what, I wouldn't have touched them. But
I love it.
instead, I lived looking crazy.
And that's the perfect example of beauty trends, guys, what Ginny has just highlighted through her lived experience.
Right.
That is a trend. And if you allow your beauty to become a trend, you will never be satisfied.
Never.
Oh.
Have you ever thought about plastic surgery? Have you ever thought?
So yeah, I made a post on my Instagram, guys. Please go check it out. But the only I have thought of some procedures, seriously, obviously lap band and things of that when I was younger.
Right.
I'm talking like before 18, after 18, even maybe 17. Before 17 was that time. After I turned 17, I was done. I was fucking done. I was in love with me and accepting me. But I did look up a surgery for lowering your brow bone. And again, this is getting into featureism and racism and white supremacy. So my biggest insecurity at the time was having a heavy, low brow bone, like a lot of Aboriginal people do, or it's very pronounced. And I was just very, very insecure about it. I used to get made fun of all the time. I think I've grown into it as I've gotten older. My face has changed, but when I was a lot younger, it was more pronounced. And I literally used to look up or hated it firstly, but then I would start researching operations to get it cut or get it removed.
Wow. And imagine that's horrible procedure to get
And what
done.
they do is literally make incisions in your scalp. They pull it down and go in with a literally shaving tool and shave away at the brow bone to bring it down. So that is the impacts, guys, of when you don't have representation of other bodies, and when beauty is racially motivated, when beauty is associated with a specific race and other races are seen as unattractive. And I guess that's also why I'm so work so hard to be proud of myself and do it so publicly, is because I don't ever want an Indigenous girl on Google, YouTubing, trying to find out how to fix or change anything feature that her ancestors have passed down to her. So yeah, that's why I'm just work so fucking hard, because I've done it. I've done the battle. I'm not going to sit here and tell you to be body positive if I haven't done it. We're not going to sit here and tell you to be unapologetically black if we're not unapologetically black. What is that doing, for our mission statement, for our goal? It's false. It's fabrication, and it's okay to have shit days. I still have my days. Rarely. I will be crystal motherfucking clear. Rarely I have my days. So right. I'll be crystal clear. Just edit it out if you want. I'll be crystal clear. I have my days. Like, I'll put a shirt on that's too small, okay? And I'll be like, or hug me the wrong way. And I'm like, you know what I do, bitch? I get that shirt. I move it out of the way. I'll come back and deal with it later if it's going to fit, if it's not. But I'll go grab a shirt that I know that fits, and I'll put it on my body, and I'll look at myself and I'm like, you've got this. You can do it. So again, guys, even those smart decisions about what clothes you're having in your home, don't hoard things that are too small. Don't hoard things that aren't fitting to your size. Get them out, because every time you put them on, they're just going to make you more insecure. So being really smart about the decisions I'm making, and importantly, bitch, if it don't fit, it don't fit. Just keep it moving.
And that's the thing, is like, I've stopped worrying. I used to be like, oh my God, this is a size 19-year-old Regina. Oh my God, this is size 12. Like, girl. And here's the thing, is like, sizing is changing. I don't even I rarely weigh myself anymore, because the numbers just don't actually help me in any way, shape, or form. I really just want to wake up and feel good. And I think that we need to stop thinking of ourselves as numbers and stop thinking of ourselves as pounds or kilograms and measuring. Like, do what makes you feel good. If wearing a small shirt makes you feel good, then do that. If you want to show your little belly off, or just do you, boo, and stop stressing about what everyone else is thinking. And I'm saying this to you, and I'm saying it to myself, and I'm going to try my hardest to be more body positive this year, but I think that's interesting. In terms of plastic surgery, I have definitely, there's been features when I was younger and people would say, oh, what's your race? What's your nationality? And I'd be like, oh, I'm Aboriginal. And then I cannot tell you how many times I can count how many times people have said to me, oh, actually, I can tell now because you've your nose. And I'm like, so for a really long time, like you, AJ, I thought about, okay, I'm going to get a nose job. And now I just look at myself and think,
and I'm obsessed
you
with
would
your
look
nose.
so crazy with any other nose. And
that is literally one of my favorite features of yours is your nose and lips. I think
really,
I'm obsessed. I think they're so beautiful.
Girl,
I love it.
I'm like, I literally, if I just couldn't look at myself and see my family, that would be horrible. And the same thing with my lips. When we were younger, I don't know the same for you, but all the white girls had small, tiny lips and it was cute. And I was like, oh, I wish I had little lips. Now
I used to be the same.
These are my natural lips, you know.
Guys, we used to be made fun of for having big lips, guys. Like literally, why did your lip hang like that? Why did your lip look like that? And now people are injecting, guys, substances that are not permanent. They have to continuously keep injecting. But isn't it so funny, guys? And Ginny's talking about a feature that she hates, and it's a feature that I'm like envious of. Like I'm obsessed with your nose and lips. I think they're so beautiful, and it's just so interesting that you don't like. You did at a time in your life you didn't like it, and you're on a journey of fucking embracing it.
Yeah,
that it shows, guys, those inner demons that are not provided to you, not provided by us. They're given to you.
And so you're going to see over the next few weeks. We're going to drill you with body positivity. We think that this is one of the strongest conversations that we want to start the year out. We want to encourage you guys to be more body positive, to share and be happy about the way that you look. AJ's got some amazing content coming out. Yay. Head over to her Instagram page and all of her pictures because this woman
Miss Ginny is about to have some coming our way, guys. We have a little
I'm going to take a bra picture.
We are working on a little photo shoot for Miss Ginny, and we are going to be providing you exclusive content on our Instagram, guys. So we're talking threads, we're talking photos, we're talking posts, like blog posts, actual words from us, sharing again on this platform the truth behind our lived experience as Black women.
I'd also love to see pictures of younger AJ growing up, teenage. Let's see all the awkward moments as well. Like,
let's do it, sis.
Oh my God. If there is time where I went through this phase of I had piercings all over my face.
Wow.
Rarely people know this side of me, but I had double snake bites. So here and here, my nose pierced. I had in between my boobs pierced, surface piercings. I was out here just acting like a crazy person.
I need to see it. I need to see it now.
But I want to see pictures of you growing up. And
let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's all do it.
And guys, tag us in your photos. So if you have any body positive photos, you have any photos after this, you're like, stuff it, I want to post them. Tag us. Or if you have any posts where you're just yarning, tag us in it. We want to have that conversation with you guys and support you.
And I encourage you that if you do come across a sister, especially a Black sister, who is posting pictures of their body and showing off how proud they are of the way they look right now, go and spread some love and say, you look deadly, sis. You look beautiful just the way that you are, and you don't need to change a thing, because we all need those sorts of words right now. But yeah, I guess that wraps up our episode of body positivity. Like we said, please jump on our socials, talk to us, tell us what you think, and we will come back soon, yarn soon.
Thanks for joining us on another episode of Unapologetically Blak. Be sure to follow us on our Instagram at Unapologetically Blak. You'll find our merch, contact details, and content in the link tree of our Instagram bio. In the meantime, please share, like, and subscribe to our YouTube and podcast channels. As Black creators, we're incredibly grateful for your support. Big love, take care, and yarn next week.